This is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast, where CEOs, C-suite executives, and senior leaders share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
I'm Tristan Pollock. The last decade I've spent time building startups and also funding them. And part of that's been as a founder, business side entrepreneur, where I built and sold a couple startups. And then I spent the last 6 years in Silicon Valley funding startups early stage with about 30 million in venture capital.
So startup and 30 million sometimes for some folks is like, oh my gosh, that's a big difference, right? But I still think it comes down to leadership and how you manage all of those resources, I think is a big piece that you're probably looking at, right?
Yeah, of course. I think when I think about funding a company, I look at, what sort of leader are we empowering, and finding, not just the leader that has a great vision, but also making sure that they're working on the right idea and something that can have a big impact. And that ideally is mission driven, whether it's empowering people in a certain industry or it's helping change part of the world for the better.
I love hearing that. So that leads me perfectly into question number 2. And I'd love to hear your perspective on what's the best thing about leading people? As you think about, achieving those outcomes there, what do you think really is the best part then about leading people from your perspective?
Yeah, I think that leading people gives you a chance to amplify your life impact on others. And especially if you're talking about leading leaders and, executive coaching or mentorship, it's something that, Silicon Valley is known for, where you can, send a cold email and have a 15-minute cup of coffee with so many people in such a small radius around you. You can have a profound impact as a coach or a mentor when it comes to working with other entrepreneurs. And so that's something that I've really really enjoyed in my short lifetime here.
I love that. What a blessing. Question 3 for you. I often hear from other leaders that business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people part. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that? Especially in a technology-driven, Silicon environment, Silicon Valley sort of environment, people are kind of secondary to the technology.
I like to think about it the other way around. I think technology is great to help things scale, but honestly, the things that work really well in early stage startups, startups that have, 2, 10, 20 people, are the things that don't scale. And one of my favorite sayings is the surprise and delight that you can provide to your customers in times where you wouldn't be able to do that with 1,000 or 1,000,000 customers, but with 100 customers you can. And I think it's really important to find those 100 customers that really love you before anything else. And so, doing things like knowing when people's birthdays are, sending them holiday cards that are handwritten, sending them a onesie when they have a new child born, like those sorts of things can really have a huge impact. And so I'm a big person that thinks about, the community that you're nurturing through a company.
That's awesome. And again, like you're saying that, amplify that impact, right? I mean, again, it's all about the difference that we make in the communities that we serve. Question 4 for you. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the podcast? I'm curious, who should we be listening to? Who's making waves out there in the marketplace that we should be paying attention to? Did I lose you there?
Oh, I got it. I think you should have David Spinks, who founded the CMX Summit and community. He's like the community, builder of community builders.
Oh, awesome.
Clayton Bryan of 500 Startups. He's a wonderful guy and really great at what he does. And then Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. I just love following him around. I'm always hoping he might dance for us again.
Oh yeah, did you hear his recent his new song?
No.
Okay, well you'll find it fairly easily, but he's got 2 songs on SoundCloud that are pretty enjoyable.
That's hilarious. I love his willingness to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He doesn't take himself too seriously.
I love a good stream of conscious.
Yeah, right? What piece of advice about communication would you give to other leaders?
When you think about leadership, I think communication is one of the best things you can be good at, whether that's negotiating contracts or getting people excited to come on board and join your team. And then I think one thing that's become really prevalent now is empathy, and being able to listen, to acknowledge, to not always jump right into suggestions and the next thing, and really provide that sounding board. And I think what leaders find from this and using that sort of management style with their team is that the feedback loops become more open. When you're talking on your weekly one-on-one or your monthly team meeting, you're actually getting really true feedback. People feel safe and secure with you. So that trust building is really foundational to everything else you do in the company.
You're using all the key words, right? That trust building. And, I always hearken to Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team when we start to think about that, and that pyramid of, everything gets built on top of trust. And I think that starts with, as you're saying, that empathy and that willingness to put yourself in other people's shoes. So critical. All right, so magic question number 6 for you. Tell us about your favorite boss or teacher. Who's really influenced you and made a difference in your life? Did that question come through?
Oh, no, I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just saying, tell us about your favorite boss or teacher. Who's really made a lasting impression or a difference in your life?
Yeah, I think some of the people, I think of a few people in my mind who have been mentors to me. One, Danielle, my wife. I mean, everything I've went through she's been a part of and supportive of, and helped me, coach me through and give me a new, fresh perspective on things. And in that very, safe and trusting environment we were just talking about, and how important that is. And I think I've found that through other mentors too. And I find mentorship is incredibly important. Without good mentors around you that have been there and done the things you're trying to do before, you're going to make all the same mistakes again. And so if you can find people who are unbiased, that can create that safe space and really give you honest feedback and really, care about your own personal growth, I mean, those are the sorts of people that, I like to surround myself with, so I can learn and grow with them.
So beautiful. Again, I think, givers gain, right? I mean, it's the whole idea of the more we give to other people, the more that we actually ourselves benefit from those things. And, I ask this question of everybody because I think, again, from an audience perspective, one of the things that we can all do right now is, find gratitude and blessings in the things that we do have in our life. And the experiences that we've had, positive or negative, and the contribution they've made in creating who we are today. So thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you so much for sharing your ideas today. How can people find you if they want to reach out and learn more?
Of course, just tristanpollock.com or Pollock on Twitter, Pollock.
Right, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And this is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more ideas and insights, please go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. We look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.